The All Progressives Congress in Rivers State says the ongoing protest in Port Harcourt has been hijacked by political groups. This follows an attack on the party secretariat by suspected thugs as protests spread across the city. We have details in this report.
The protest began peacefully as residents marched the streets of Port Harcourt. But it wasn't long before tensions began to rise. The APC Secretariat is one of the properties affected in the heated turn of events. The party alleged that those responsible were sponsored political thugs disguised as protesters.
The situation has become so political. And of course, you ask yourself, why is it that it was APC office that was isolated for destruction? But a million of those attacks, it will not stop us from speaking for the people of Rivers State. It will not stop us from being diametrically opposed to a governor and a government that is clueless. It can't. And I wonder, are we talking about protest? Who is protesting and what is the essence? What is the reason? If the protest is about hunger, what is the relationship between of hunger and APC Secretariat?
The APC is alleging that the same groups are sponsoring unrest in Rivers State due to President Bola Tinubu's perceived stance on the political crisis.
They felt that they need to get at Mr. President. That Mr. President does not seem to be supporting them. And so there cannot be peace here. That's one. The other one is that they had planned to humiliate the Senate President. If you see the placards, if you see what they carry, they say Senate President must resign. The third reason is that they want to undermine our leader, His Excellency, Honorable Minister, Ezenwoye Sonwike, who you all know has been against protests in Abuja. It's okay if you are doing that, but in your state, they are protesting.
As the protests continue, the APC called on the police to beef up security around its secretariat and other public infrastructure. The APC also appeals to the protesters to back down, be patient, and trust the policies of the president.
APC Caretaker Committee Secretary in Rivers State, Chibike Kenga, joins me on the program for more this evening. Mr. Kenga, thank you for talking to us. Precisely walk us through the details of this attack, especially on the APC Secretariat.
Too low for me to grasp your questions properly.
I'm asking for the details of the attack on your party secretariat by the suspected thugs.
Yeah, I think that the details have been captured by the press conference addressed by the party through the state chairman of the party, Chief Tony Okocha. However, let me add that it was clearly premeditated. It was an attack on President Bola Tinubu. It was also an attack that was planned, orchestrated over time to diminish the party and as well as the leadership of the party under President Bola Tinubu in Rivers State. And that clearly we see the hand of the Rivers State government in all these issues. Because if you ask me, I want to say that in the South, it is only in Rivers State where the governor came, addressed them and told them that he was supporting them. And that because what they were doing was right. And the governor, who is an accountant by training, who also is the governor of the state today, who understands the disruptions that will be created by these actions and activities, particularly as they became very chaotic and violent. So he shouldn't have done that in the first place. So because he did that to them, he now encouraged them to do all the kind of things they have done, particularly attacking the president, attacking the government, and attacking the federal government, and attacking APC, the party of the president in Rivers State. So we are scared of our lives now because we don't know, because the target of this protest now has veered from what it was supposed to do to drive home the fact that there are economic crises in the country that the president is working on and they need to step up
Mr. Kenga,
to attack him institutions and persons.
Mr. Kinga, can you confirm if the buildings or properties belonging to the former governor was also attacked during this protest?
No, I'm not aware of that as at the moment. But I do know that those protesters were also discouraged from attacking, like I said, they're attacking personalities and then attacking institutions. They were discouraged because of the level of security that were around those areas, particularly the residence of the FCT minister. That's the one I know. I don't know whether he has other properties that the people attempted to attack. But so I know about his residence.
If the protest goes or turns violent, you know, you expect security operatives to wade in. What's your assessment of the security infrastructure provided not only for the APC Secretariat, but, you know, the generality of the public during this protest?
Well, the police have been very operative because they understand also that protest is enshrined in our constitution, but not violent protest or chaotic protest, as it's turned out to be in the couple of days past. So the police have tried their best to ensure that there is law and order to help to secure those who were protesting initially, until when they turned violent. You know, they started attacking people, attacking citizens, attacking motor drivers and vehicles, people who were going about their normal business, and attacking the APC Secretariat, attacking and destroying the party secretariat and things around the party secretariat. I think that the police have done their best, but they need to step up now, because they promised by those protesters who did say that they were going to have a peaceful protest that had turned violent. You know, government was also, federal government was also aware of the fact that those who are sponsoring these protests are those who have become politically leprous, those who have been defeated in elections side by side over time, you know, serially. And these have ignited their anger because they want to get back to government by any means possible. So
I hear you, Mr. Ikenga, but the same government you're talking about has come up publicly to acknowledge some of the concerns raised by these protesters. And we must be able to differentiate between the genuine protesters and those you are alleging that have hijacked them. There is like a 10 request list made by those who have come out to protest, including reversal of the petrol pump price to what it was pre-removal of subsidy. So I don't want us to confuse all of those facts, because what you say on national television is required to be backed by fact. The concerns, however, Mr. Ikenga, is the implication of this attack on, you know, the political, how do I put it now, the political development in the state. For instance, there are some, how do you respond to allegations that these attacks are a result of internal party conflicts or even power struggles within your party, the APC? Okay.
Firstly, I'd like to say that I did acknowledge while I was making my presentation that there are crises in Nigeria, and those crises have been over time. Those crises started from Obasanjo up till presently President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that this is the first time the president has taken those steps that we know will be painful at the short run, and then will guarantee uhuru for us at the longer run, at the longer time. You know, Eldorado will come if we continue to be a little more patient with the government and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm sure that, and then if they try to also fast track what they are doing, I'm sure that eventually some of these challenges that we have economically and otherwise will be addressed. Be that as it may, I want to say clearly that we are not oblivious of the fact that there are challenges in our country. There are, just like there are challenges in other countries. You see, like in the United Kingdom, you see, like in Bangladesh, you see, like even in the Americas, wherever, we have problems all over the world. But that's not to say that we are rationalizing the fact that there is need for us to have problems here. But it's a global village, so to speak. But let me also add that the reason why the protests here in Rivers State had turned violent, and also in Nigeria had also turned violent after the promises made, is the fact that they have those who are behind the scenes sponsoring them. Let me ask you, those who are those who contracted, those who made Russian flags, and those who are saying we want military, those who are saying Tinubu must go, those who are saying, oh, this person is a thief, this person is not a thief, those things have now become, it's been hijacked by political Ghanaians who want to get to power. So that's the point I'm trying to make, that initially what they claimed they wanted to do was right, to draw the attention of government to some of the challenges, particularly the pains our citizens are going through. But midway, political interest groups have hijacked it for their own personal interest to fester and pursue their interest.
All right.
To overthrow the government and come to power.
I hear you clearly, Mr. Ikenga. Unfortunately, we've completely run out of time. Perhaps subsequently we'll be able to also talk about the efforts being made by your party to resolve the political tussle in Rivers State, which was existing prior to the protests. Because some have said that all of the parties involved now have a responsibility to keep the peace, you know, for the sake of the state. But that's how far we can go. Chikipike Ikenga is the Publicity Secretary of the APC Caretaker Committee in Rivers State. Thank you so much, Mr. Ikenga, for talking to us on the show this evening.
My pleasure always. Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. If you missed any part of our program, we've got you covered. All you need to do is watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. See you again soon.